Hi guys, my name is Shubhang Garodia. Today I'm going to guide you about test analysis form or what we call as self-reflection test analysis form. So this is a very important step after you have just given your test. We would recommend you fill this form the same day after you have given the test because the you'll have highest recollection of the test during that time. If not, then next day morning, this should be a first task to be done. So when you go to your batch orientation sheet, you can see your student test analysis form. Go to this form. When this form opens up, you will see written first thing only for advanced test. What does this mean? This means that if we conduct, or rather when we conduct JEE mains test series, then this form should not be filled. This form is designed specifically for advanced tests. Okay. Now, the first page is basic information that you give to the system. That is your email ID, your name. The email ID and the name should be the same that is registered on Vedantu platform, with which you access your Eklavya batches. You can select one of the batch that you belong to. Then what is the date of the test? For example, today I'm selecting as the date of the test. Date of the test is very important. If the date of the test is wrong, we will not be able to map your data. Now, next you go to the page, you see first the subject written. So this page belongs to mathematics and you have some instructions given here. Now guys, as I said, this is a self-reflection test analysis. This is not basically about how much marks you scored. This is about the logic used or the thought used to score that marks. Okay. So now you have to sit down with the question paper. Once the solutions are released, you'll be able to see your solution in the test window itself. Now, when you open it up, if the question is right, if the question was attempted correctly, you will choose A from the fields shown here. Okay. Now, if the question was wrong due to a wrong approach, that is not due to calculation error or not due to some silly mistake, but due to a wrong approach altogether, then you will mark the option as B. Let's say my second question were right, so I mark it as A. And my third question was wrong due to wrong approach, so I choose a B. Next, what does C mean? C means that the question you attempted was wrong, but it was due to a silly mistake. If you could not attempt the question because you didn't know how to solve it, or you thought you'll get stuck while solving it, and therefore you left the question, you'll choose D. And if you left the question because you ran out of time, then you'll choose E. Okay. So for every question, you have to choose one option out of A, B, C, D, E. This page corresponds to the math subject. Now, while you were going through, you found that question 1 and 2 were correct, but you still want the teacher to discuss question number 2 because perhaps you used a lot of time in the question. Then what will you do? You will also mark F along with it. That means for every question you have to mark from A to E, and if you want that question to be discussed in class, whether it was right, whether it was wrong, whether it was unattempted, you will also mark F in the row. So every row can have two inputs, one compulsory input from A to E and one optional input F. Now, suppose your paper 1 contained maths paper 1 contained 20 questions, so you will mark for 20 rows, okay, and then you will leave the rest of it blank. Suppose there is no paper 2 at all, so what do? Then you leave the paper 2 area completely blank. Got it? Then you simply go to the next page. The same thing now will be done for physics, and then the same thing will be done for chemistry as well. Once you are done with this, all you got to do is hit the submit button and your responses will be submitted. Now, once this is done, guys, on the day of test discussion, we will display the analysis to you. Once that on the day of test discussion at 11 a.m., this sheet, you can access this sheet from your orientation sheet itself. test analysis, student side output. You click here, you will be redirected to this sheet. Now, this sheet after 11 a.m. on the test discussion day will show unlocked. It will not show logged. Okay. All you got to do is in this cell where it says, besides the cell where it says enter your email ID, you will type in your email ID. The same email ID by which you are registered on the Vedantu platform. Once you do that, press enter. You will see your results in the row number 9 and row number 10. Row number 9 will contain some theory written, that is inputs for you on how to improve on these points. Row number 10 will have color code associated with it. The colors are the same that are displayed here: red, orange, yellow, and green. Red meaning out of these 4 levels, if I've categorized every student in 4 level, green means you are in the best level, then yellow, then orange, then red. Now, how do we calculate these analysis, or how do we run this analysis? Based on the input from the entire batch, we check your accuracy, we check your tendency to make conceptual mistake, we check your tendency to make silly mistake, familiarity with concepts, as in if you were not able to score too much because of some concepts you didn't know. So we'll be judging this as well based on the data submitted by the entire batch. And same in efficiency in managing time. Some papers are lengthy by design, some papers are short by design. So we take that into account based on, again, on the data from the entire batch, and we'll give you some inputs here. These inputs are very important, or these inputs are very useful so that you can perform well in your next test. Now, based on your inputs, what gets generated is, on the faculty side, based on your inputs, a sheet gets generated which allows them to analyze the paper or the performance of the entire batch. They get such kind of a display at their end which tells them what are the doubt numbers with color codes. It also tells them the question which was correctly solved with how many students solved it correct. So it gives them a rough idea that whether that question should have been solved by you or no. They can choose to display this in the class as well. So this is it from my side, guys. This is how we use the self-reflection test analysis. And thank you so much for listening.